Hello and welcome to Niger Delta Television News. I'm Janet Bombai-Renner. On our top story, Governor Doye Diri boasts self-empowerment for Bayelsas through vocational education. Bayelsa State House of Assembly passes a motion to regulate arbitrary rent increase. Plus, Nasarawa Amazons emerge winners of Governor Doye Diri's FIBA football tournament. Governor Doye Diri has declared that its administration's shift to vocational education is to ensure that Bayelsans do not become job seekers soliciting white-collar jobs, but rather become employers of labor. Governor Diri made a declaration on Wednesday while receiving a Platinum Education Ambassador Award during the 175th Executive Council meeting of his Prosperity Administration. Government House correspondent George Ameli was there.
Bayelsa State's paradigm shift from regular to vocational education has further gained national recognition, with the Bayelsa State Governor, Senator Doye Diri, being awarded the Platinum Education Ambassador Award by one of Nigeria's foremost media outlets, the Independent newspapers, on the 9th of October 2025. On Wednesday, during the 175th Executive Council meeting, Commissioner for Education, Honorable Gentle Emela, presented the award he received on behalf of the Bayelsa State Governor at the Eko Hotels and Suites in Lagos to Governor Doye Diri. Governor Diri acknowledged the teamwork that brought about the award, even as he relayed what informed his being a recipient of the award.
It's because we are working as a team. That's why we keep receiving one award after the other. As the pilot of the team, it is always in my name. That is all of us. What we have done together in education, paradigm shifts in education, free feeding, free this, free that, trying to get our people to come into education, particularly science and technical education. And you discover that the current Minister of Education, most of what he's doing is what exactly that we have done in Bayelsa State. And so we are not surprised that what we are doing is being acknowledged countrywide, and let us continue to do what is right. What is right not only for us, but for our children. Building science and technical colleges across the whole state, equipping these colleges, so that our people will no longer go and become job seekers. They should be employers of labor. And we will not be looking out for people to come in from Niger Republic and other places to come and do minor things that could be done by our people here.
The event was in commemoration of 70 years of free universal primary education. Three of Nigeria's foremost political leaders, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Sir Ahmadu Bello, were also honored posthumously. From the Executive Council chambers in Government House, Yanagwa, George Ameli reporting for NDTV News.
The Bayelsa State government has given the Oloibiri clan in Ogbia Kingdom 3 weeks to produce the next chairman of Ogbia Brotherhood and other nominees, Zone 28, to pave the way for the inauguration of a new substantive leadership to pilot the affairs of the foremost socio-cultural organization in the LGA. The Deputy Governor, Senator Lawrence Ebirijepo, gave the directive while presiding over a high-profile meeting with leaders and critical stakeholders of Ogbia extraction, cutting across all the clans of the kingdom are the Golden Tulip in Yenagoa. The Deputy Governor maintained that Ogbia Brotherhood, founded in 1940, had played a pivotal role in promoting the unity and development of Ogbia Kingdom in particular and Bayelsa State in general, and therefore must not be allowed to die as a result of personal and parochial interest of a few people in the area. According to him, the state governor, Senator Doye Diri, had directed that the lingering leadership conflicts in the organization should be resolved without further delay in honor of former President Goodluck Jonathan, and most importantly, in the best collective interest of the Ogbia people and the state. He, however, added that government will set machinery in place to ensure the inauguration of the organization's new leadership, with or without their nominees, at the end of the 3-week period. Speaking on behalf of the Oloibiri clan, former Secretary to the state government, Professor Edmond Allison Oguru, assured the state government that critical stakeholders of the clan, including Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, would meet to reconcile the differences and present credible individuals to fill its positions in the leadership of Ogbia Brotherhood. Professor Allison Oguru used the opportunity to appreciate the efforts of the state government to resolve the leadership crisis in Ogbia Brotherhood, which he admitted has lingered for some time. The State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the Ministry of Land and Survey, the Bayelsa State Housing and Property Development Authority, and other relevant agencies to regulate arbitrary rent increases in the state, particularly in Yenagoa and other urban centers. Honorable Tari Pori, representing Ekirimo Constituency 1, who moved the motion during plenary, noted that rent hikes have made it difficult for civil servants and low-income earners to afford decent accommodation. The House also advocated a rent control and tenancy regulation law and committee to mediate disputes between landlords and tenants. Assembly correspondent Elbraton Priye now completes the report.
It was like a time bomb waiting to explode when the mover of the motion, Honorable Tari Pori, presented his position on the rising trend of house rents across the state. Barrister Pori noted that rent hikes have made it difficult for low-income earners to afford decent accommodation, with prices rising from 120,000 to 200,000 per annum to 800 to 1.5 million naira annually. In their separate contributions, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Michael Ogbere, the Leader, Right Honorable Monday Obolo, and Honorable Timi Omubo all affirmed that the primary responsibility of government is to cater for the welfare of our citizens. Hence, the House is under obligation to step into addressing a distressing situation.
8 urgent steps are not taken to advise landlords in Yenagoa and its environment. 70% of urban dwellers will relocate back to.
Supporting this motion. This bill is talking about welfare of landlords, welfare of tenants, based on the Constitution and these principles. This motion talks about addressing welfare of our people.
Honorable Living Meeting, Honorable Ben Victor, Honorable Daniel Charles said, as representative of the people, it was imperative for the House to address the issue which has provoked public outcry, noting that being a predominantly civil service state, the pain is even more.
That has become very, very unbearable for the populace of Bayelsa State, of which I represent a section of it.
I should support this bill in its entirety, because this bill is one that is targeted at resolving a serious issue.
The House therefore now resolved to urge the relevant government agency to come up with sensitization and requisite actionable measures to stem the incessant increase of house rents and agent fees by landlord and house agents.
The House also advocated for a rent control and tenancy regulatory law and a committee to mediate disputes between landlords and tenants. From the State House of Assembly in Yenagoa, I am Nebraton Priye, reporting for NDTV News.
You're watching Niger Delta Television News, and here's a quick look at our top stories. Bayelsa State House of Assembly passes a motion to regulate arbitrary rent increase. And still ahead, the Nasarawa Amazons emerge winners of Governor Doyediri's female football tournament. Details of this and more after the break. Join us again. Welcome to Niger Delta Television News and Current Affairs Department at the NSE Koli Media Complex, here in Yanagwa, Bayelsa State.
One of NDTV's traditional objectives is to disseminate information with renewed vigor. We build teamwork for accountability, efficiency, and accuracy.
Our community reports, eyewitness accounts, current affairs discussions are detailed and competitive.
As NDTV reporters, undiluted report is our goal. We gather the news and bring it to you just as it is.
Our cameras are poised to get in the story behind the story in an in-depth news report.
Our new digital equipment are top-notch with clearer visuals and audio. NDTV is repositioned to serve you better.
Join us on the news every day at 7 a.m., 12 p.m. and our major bulletin at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 25 UHF. NDTV, crystallizing the vision.
Glad to have you back. The House of Representatives on Tuesday raised concerns over growing security threats to the National Assembly, including a terrorist threat to bomb the legislative complex. Chairman of the House Committee on Internal Security, Honorable Garba Ibrahim Mohammed, disclosed this on Tuesday during a public hearing on a bill to establish the Legislative Security Directorate held at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. The proposed legislation is titled A Bill for an Act to Provide for the Establishment and Functions of a Legislative Security Directorate in the National Assembly to provide for the qualification and condition of service of the sergeants at arms and other personnel of the Directorate and for related matters. The lawmaker noted that the influx of people into the complex daily, including visitors, lobbyists, and demonstrators, has made it a vulnerable target. It's one that, with the ongoing security challenges, if proper measures are not taken, legislative activities in the National Assembly could be truncated, adding that the bill would move to address all the aforesaid challenges and adopt road best practices of parliamentary security procedures and architecture. Honorable Garba Mohammed also urged the State House of Assembly to emulate the National Assembly by adopting a similar security framework to safeguard their legislative environments. And on the entertainment scene, Nigerian singer and senior special assistant to Abia State Governor Martins Okechukwu Justice, popularly known as J. Martins, survives accidents as his car skids off the highway. For details of this report and more on entertainment news, let's join Ebitari Ujeke.
Nigerian singer and senior special assistant to the Abia State Governor on Tourism and Entertainment, Martins Okechukwu Justice, popularly known as J. Martins, has miraculously escaped death as his car veered off to the highway and plunged into a bush. The incident happened on Monday along Enugu-Aba Port Harcourt Expressway after reportedly suffered a brake failure. The impact of the brake failure forced the car off the expressway, heading into the thick bush in fast motion. Speaking on the accident, J. Martins described the experience as terrible, but thank God for saving him from death. The musician added that he came out of the vehicle without any injury. Next in entertainment news, social media critic Very Dark Man has alleged that a well-known comedian attempted to funnel 700 million naira through his NGO to disguise the origin of the funds. In a post he shared online, Very Dark Man claimed the comedian, described as usually quiet on social media, was approached with the plan to transfer the large sum into the NGO's account with an agreement that a portion would be siphoned as payoffs. According to Very Dark Man, the arrangement would have seen the NGO receiving the 700 million naira from insiders who would withdraw portion and distribute kickbacks. He said the comedian was told he would personally receive 10%, about 70 million naira, while the rest would be made to disappear through the NGO's book. Very Dark Man also added that he refused to be part of any scheme that would route such a large sum through his organization, saying he would rather invest in his property than allow the money to touch the NGO's account. This accusation has drawn attention online, but the comedian has not publicly responded to the claim, as at the time of the report. Lastly, on entertainment news, legendary musician, activist, and actress Angelique Kidjo received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Best of Africa Awards. She shared the news in a post expressing her gratitude and reflecting on her journey as a global ambassador for African arts and activism. Over her decade-long career, Kidjo has amassed numerous accolades. She's a 5-time Grammy Award winner in 2022, made the history as the first African artist to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Beyond her musical achievements, she has been a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador since 2002, advocating children's rights and education. The Best of Africa Awards is an annual event that celebrates and supports Africans' professional, creative, and philanthropic contributions. The award highlights positive African achievements, challenges stereotypes, and uses the reach of music and sports to inspire young people globally. And that's all for entertainment news. I am Ebitari Ojeke, reporting for NTTV Entertainment News.
And from the foreign scene, Cameroon opposition leader Maurice Kamto is set to face illegal charges following post-election unrest. Protests have continued to rock some cities in the country after the declaration of a 92-year-old incumbent Paul Biya as winner of the presidential poll held over the weekend. Correspondent Williams Bekewe gives us details of this report and other stories.
Cameroon's government says opposition leader Maurice Kamto will face legal action following post-election violence in several cities. Officials accuse Kamto of inciting arrest after challenging the results of recent regional polls. Supporters of the opposition leader said the move is politically driven and aimed at weakening dissent. They claim security forces use excessive force during peaceful demonstrations that demand fair election and transparency. Human rights groups have called for calm and urged authorities to ensure a fair trial. Analysis warned that deepening political division could undermine stability ahead of upcoming national elections. British authorities have deported a convicted sex offender who was mistakenly released from prison due to a paperwork error. The man from Eastern Europe was found and rearrested within days after his accidental release drew public criticism. The Home Office confirmed he was now being returned to his home country, adding that an internal investigation is underway. Officials described the case as unacceptable and promised immediate steps to prevent similar incidents. UK opposition lawmakers and campaigners says the mistake shows major failing in the UK justice and immigration system and are calling for stronger checks and better coordination between agencies. At least 50 people were killed overnight as Israeli airstrike hit several parts of Gaza, according to the district health officials. The strike repeatedly targeted residential buildings and marketplaces, leaving widespread destruction and panic among civilians. Rescue teams and volunteers spent the night digging through rubble in search of survivors. Hospitals already struggling with shortage, say many of the injured are women and children. Several families remain missing as communication lines are down in some areas. Israel's military has not released a statement but has previously said its operation target militant infrastructure. Aid agencies are warning of a worsening humanitarian crisis and renewed calls for a ceasefire have grown louder worldwide. Bekewe Williams reporting for NDTV Foreign News.
From the ever-busy world of sports, after a week of exciting football among the Nigerian Women Football League teams, Nasarawa Amazons emerged as winners of the first ever Governor Doyediri Female Pre-Season Football Tournament, with all the games played at the Samson Siasen Sports Complex in Yenagoa. Sports correspondent Ayemi Miane gives us details of these and other sports stories.
The pre-season football tournament, which took place in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, gave the different NWFL teams a chance to get ready for the upcoming season, which starts next month. Joy Igbokwe of Nasarawa Amazons was named the most valuable player of the tournament after the team defeated host Bayelsa Queens 6-5 on penalties following a goalless draw in regulation time at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenagoa on Sunday. After losing 5-3 on penalties to Bayelsa Queens in one of the semi-finals and losing to champions Nasarawa Amazons by a single goal, Edo Queens defeated Bayelsa Princesses 2-0 in the losers' final to finish third. In his remarks, Pastor Robin Aprala, the chairman of Bayelsa Queens and the chairman of the local organizing committee, described all of the competitors and winners and stated that the tournament was not about winning but rather a way to improve the teams. He thanked God for the tournament's success and praised the Bayelsa State Governor, Senator Doye Diri, the Deputy Governor, Senator Lawrence Erujakbo, and the Commissioner for Sports Development, Dr. Daniel Igali, for funding the tournament. After a 1-1 draw with the Benin Republic on Tuesday at the Moshood Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, the Super Falcons of Nigeria qualified for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, which will take place in Morocco. Defender Ashley Plumter gave the Super Falcons the lead in the 12th minute by heading home a fantastic corner from Esther Okoronkwo. Despite creating a few chances, the home team was unable to double their lead before halftime. And in the second half, Yasminat Jibril gave the Republic of Benin the equalizer in the 61st minute through a brilliant set piece. Nigeria, the defending champions, prevailed 3-1 on aggregate in the last qualifying round match, booking a spot in next year's WAFCON in Morocco. Ayemi Miene for NDTV Sport.
And to end the news, a quick look at top stories. Governor Doye Diri has declared that his administration's shift to vocational education is to ensure that Bayelsans do not become job seekers soliciting white-collar jobs, but rather become employers of labor. It was brought to a report that the State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the Ministry of Land and Survey, the Bayelsa State Housing and Property Development Authority, and other relevant agencies to regulate arbitrary rent increases in the state, particularly in Yenagoa and other urban centers. And finally, after a week of exciting football among 10 Nigerian Women Football League teams, Nasarawa Amazons emerged as winners of the first ever Governor Doye Diri female pre-season football tournament, with all the games played at the Samson Siasia Sports Complex in Yenagoa. And that's the bulletin. Thanks for joining us. I'm Janet. Bye-bye.